absolutely impossible what he just did. That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Good morning, and welcome to another episode of the Destination Fantasy Podcast. We are in the middle of the playoffs here. We've been seeing some great football and looking forward to a couple more games today. With all that being said, I'm here with my brother, as always, Deshaun. How you doing this morning?
Man, I feel good, bro. How about yourself?
Hey, man, nothing but snow out here, but can't ask for anything better in the middle of January. But yeah, you know what? Speaking of football and games and whatnot, we had some interesting games yesterday. Let's jump into it. So we're gonna start with this game, even though this was the latest game of the day. We're gonna start with this one here. No, I'm sorry. We're gonna start with the Packers game. Yeah, we're gonna start with that one. All right. So Packers took care of business against the Rams, 32-18. Aaron Rodgers did Aaron Rodgers things even with that pressure. Aaron Jones came to play. Devontae Adams, he still got his. Lazard and everybody else pitched in. On the flip side, Cam Akers came to play, but it was still some inconsistencies on that Rams offense. But what's your take?
Man, so what a very interesting game. I think the game pretty much panned out how I thought that it would, rather. I thought that LA was going to make it competitive to a point. But, Jamar, if we really want to dissect this game a little bit further, it's just going to show us exactly how scary of a team that the Packers are, considering that LA had a game plan on trying their best to stop Devontae Adams, because that connection has been, just ridiculous this season. Easily the best wide receiver to quarterback connection in the football league, outside of, the only team that can honestly give him fits in that same conversation is Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. But I think that they did everything that they could, but the way that Matt LaFleur moved Devontae Adams around. So just for example, up on the play that Devontae Adams scored, he had him in motion. He had him going left. He had him come back right. Nice little pick play. Got him wide open. Someone didn't switch. Jalen Ramsey was upset. You can see his frustration on the sideline. And that's just good play calling, good way to get your best offensive player involved in the game, knowing that he had a tough matchup against the league's best corner in Jalen Ramsey. Now, another unsung thing is that running game. Aaron Jones looked phenomenal, Jamar. A.J. Dillon chipped in. Jamal Williams chipped in. When you use that three-headed, trio of backs that they have, and all of them had, in my opinion, a productive game. When you can add that to the mix with Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Valdez Scantling, and those guys, Robert Tonyan, dude, they're scary. And that's why they are my pick to go to the Super Bowl.
As you should, because it's crazy. I'm sitting here just, watching the game and then cutting on SportsCenter, watching the highlights again. And it's like you cannot deny how good this team is. You can't. They are a force to be reckoned with. And, whoever they play next week, I know they're going to be formidable. But it's tough winning in Lambeau Field. And Rams gave it all they got. Aaron Donald wasn't 100%. He only played 55% of the snaps yesterday. Goff had the thumb injury, but even still, even if they was fully healthy, I don't know if they was going to be able to win this game regardless. So I guess kudos to the Packers. Yay.
I know it hurt you to say that, bro.
It is. And it is what it is. I'm not going to deny his greatness. I'm not going to be that biased. But another game here, which was pretty exciting. Two quarterbacks from the 2018 class, and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen here. So, as we discussed yesterday, the Ravens, was coming in as one of the hottest teams in the league. Ever since Lamar Jackson went in, into that locker room that day in that Monday Night Football game against the Browns, he came back and, has been stellar since. But the Bills defense showed up. and made him do things he didn't want to do yesterday. And when I saw that pick six, that I was like, my jaw dropped because I didn't expect that to happen, but that was basically the final nail in the coffin for sure on that one. But what's your takeaway in this game?
Oh man, so you ended with the pick six. I'm gonna start with the pick six, considering that was the same guy who picked off Ben Roethlisberger and took it to the crib. Same guy. So look, we know what the Bills are about. Bills Mafia has every reason to stand up right now, winning a playoff game in Buffalo since I don't know when, and they look very, very good. This is a team that doesn't run the ball very much, but their best, offensive weapon is Josh Allen. Sometimes running the football. When he leads the team in rushing, they typically win the football game. Now, granted, they lost Zach Moss, so Devin Singletary was like the main guy inside the backfield. But then again, they utilized the short pass as their ability to rush the football. And God, man, like we haven't said enough good things about Stephon Diggs, Jamar. He has been amazing, leading the league in receptions, leading the league in receiving yards. He just like shined yesterday, and he looked great all of last season. And this dude is for real. You and I both said it. The addition of him made this Bills team elite. They have an elite wide receiver and not slot receivers, as like you like to say, from like the past couple of seasons. But like the Bills were clicking on every cylinder. And like you said, when that defense shows up, boy, they are very tough out.
They really are. And, let me double back to Stephon Diggs. Like, just him as a player and his career, like, you saw flashes of it in Minnesota. Like, that tandem between him and Adam Thielen for all those years, fantasy relevance, like being a top duo each and every year that they was playing together. I know injuries was probably the one thing that derailed Diggs and maybe lowered his stock in, drafts here and there, and maybe Kirk Cousins too. But but I mean, yeah, he was the key to unlock this whole offense. And it's, shout outs to him for having a career year, being recognized across, the country as a top wide receiver. Like people knew about him. The real people knew about him the past few years, but I feel like everybody knows about him now because he's on full display. So yeah, that Bills team took care of business. I'm pretty sure I know who they're gonna end up playing next week. And matter of fact, let's get into that game really quick. So today's first game, Browns at Chiefs. Oh, man. I mean, the Browns had a great season.
They had a very good season. And again, this is coming from a Steelers fan. Look, we finally saw what Baker Mayfield is able to do when that backfield pretty much takes over the game. Now, again, he was a little bit more than a game manager this season, but in the same breath, it was like he showed flashes of, being able to come in there, sling the ball around, take command of that offense. When you couple the style of play that Baker Mayfield has been with the arguably the best running back duo in the league, it makes it a little bit easier for him. But like, look, they have played a phenomenal season this year. I'm taking my hat off to them. So Reed, shout out my boy Reed. He said the Browns had a great season. Okay, enough of that. Take that down. That's enough. We don't want to see all that. Yes, they had a great look. I'm giving them. Look, this is going to be the most you're going to ever see me talk about the Browns because I cannot take anything away from their season. Losing Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry stepping up. That running back backfield has been amazing. Baker Mayfield has put them in a position to win. Now, that's the positive side of this. Like, let's just keep it frank, Jamar. Let's be completely honest.
Go for it.
With all of that being said, how amazing of a season they had. The buck stops here. The buck stops here. I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, the greatest tight end of all time. Yes, the greatest tight end of all time, and Travis Kelce, Cheetah, like those guys, man, like they just got weapons galore, playing into the kingdom that is of Arrowhead Stadium. Dude, it's going to be very, very tough for Cleveland. And at some point, I expect the Chiefs to run away with this football game. It may not be within the first half, but later on in the second, I think they should run away with it.
All right, time out. I just, want to let you repeat something that you just said. So it's on the record. And I know you've been saying it for the past couple of days now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's probably how you feel. But say it again for the people in the back that didn't hear you about Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce is the greatest tight end of all time. Jamar, look, me and Jamar go way back. And, we have come together upon like this thing that is Destination Fantasy. We put both of our football and fantasy football minds together. I've been saying this from the beginning. Like, this guy is great. Even when Grunt had those seasons that were just my goodness, were just unbelievable. I was saying that Travis Kelce is still the guy. So I said it. I'm going to continue to say it. I think everyone should appreciate what's going on right now. You're getting a chance to witness the greatest tight end of all time. So.
Ooh. We got Rhonda here saying upset day. Are you saying that the Browns going to get it done?
Oh boy, is she a dog parent?
No, she's a Cowboys fan.
Oh wow, okay.
But I don't know. There's a young bad man in Kansas City these days. we got to get him his own little catchphrase, man. Because Rodgers is a bad man, but he's something special.
Well, I mean, they're calling him half a Billy because of his contract. Something like whatever the name it is, the golden child. Like I've heard so many things, but none of those things really stuck. Just know that he is the face of the NFL going forward.
That's that catch up, man. Oh man, but Kansas City, weapons on top of weapons. I just don't see them like losing. I don't. Basically, the golden rule is, and we talked about this yesterday on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, and you already knew this. Like, basically, you don't bet against Patrick Mahomes.
No,
you don't do it. You don't do it. So, I mean, with all that being said, like I said before you start talking, the Browns had a great season, and I use had because, like you said, it's not here. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. I mean, shout out to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt being the best duo running back duo in the league, and also the best fantasy running back duo each and every week. Both of them was definitely worthy of a spot in your lineup each and every week as a tandem. So shout out to them. Baker Mayfield came on as of late. I mean, probably since that Monday night game, he even maybe a little bit before then, he was starting to ball out a little bit. So shout out to Baker Mayfield on a spectacular season, second half there. Kevin Stefanski. I mean, you should be in the hat for Coach of the Year there. You did a phenomenal job, my guy.
He has my vote.
As warranted. Jarvis Landry and Austin Hooper and David Njoku. You became productive after OBJ went out in week 4. So, I mean, congrats to the Browns. Hope you got your plane tickets ready to be going home. It's a wrap.
And you know what, Jamar? I want to say this now. Like, I would legit be shocked. I would be shocked if to the point where if the Browns were to be able to pull this off, like, I would legit do something like crazy. Like, I'm not sure what that would be. It would be just a monumental upset, in my opinion. But I know that that's not going to happen. And I think they're calling this one online as far as like memes go, whatever. They're calling it the Commercial Bowl, State Farm versus Progressive. So
that's awesome. That is awesome. Like, basically, after this game, you should know which insurance company you're going to join. Oh, man. And so Dominique said, is Piggy's team going to join us? So, as some people may not know, Piggy is your brother, and that's a perfect segue into our next game here, because he's a Bucks fan, and they going to this. Is that the Superdome?
Yep, Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
Yep, in New Orleans here. This is man, as what you was calling it, the Geezer Bowl.
The Geezer Bowl.
So, speaking of the Geezer Bowl, go ahead and enlighten us to what we're going to see today.
Man, you know what? I think we're going to see a lot of star power. Look, if, fantasy football was still going on, it'll be a lot of plays in this game as far as quarterback play, wide receiver play, running back play. It'll be a bunch. Like, let's go ahead and, stick with the Saints here. Look, this may be the very last time we may see Tom Brady versus Drew Brees. So soak it all in. I know I'll be front and center watching two of the greatest quarterbacks of my time duke it out. So this should be a phenomenal football game. And shout out to my brother Piggy. Even though I am taking the the opposite in this matchup, I think the Bucks shall make it very, very interesting, and they could possibly win it. I'm not going to say the Saints are going to run away with it, but if I were to have to pick a team, it'll probably be the Saints. Now, I'm going to say this, Jamar. If they get Antonio Brown unlocked in this game, as he's been like the past couple of weeks, rather, watch out. Watch out, bro, because you already got a Chris Godwin and a guy who can make all the catches over the field, the third down specialist whenever you need a tough catch. They got a monster of a red zone target and Mike Evans, who does not get enough credit for being the first wide receiver to put together 6 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons to start his career, which is amazing. That is just phenomenal. And he's in a league all of his own when it comes to that, the only wide receiver to do so. Like they got a lot of things working for them. The thing that I think that the Saints have working for them is just they're at home, to be completely honest. And I think that's going to give Drew Brees enough comfort to be able to pull his game away.
All right, so I'm on record saying that the Buccaneers are going to pull this off.
Yep.
And as we, went into yesterday's game, this was just as tough to pick as that Ravens-Bills game, which we didn't think it was going to end up like the way it did at the end. But still, this here is a tough matchup. We know that the Saints has dominated this team the first 2 times that they played each other. But Antonio Brown, that's the difference maker here to me.
Absolutely.
And like you said, if he's unlocked, watch out. And I have no reason to believe that he won't be unlocked today. Because, there's a reason why they brought him in for games like this, for moments like this. It's bad enough to have Mike Evans and Godwin and Gronk initially that makes it hard to defend. But when you add another element of his caliber, who probably the most talented pass catcher on that team.
Yep.
And has been, if there was an all-decade team, of course, he's number 1 wide receiver on the all-decade team.
Easily.
So you add that to that offense, and they actually have a running game that they choose to go to. You asking for it. And I know you mentioned they at home, but is it really home field advantage here?
No, it depends. Now, I'm not sure exactly how many fans are going to be at the stadium in this game, but I think a lot of the Ravens' issues yesterday came from those 9,000 fans that was inside the stadium in Buffalo. I think it made a huge difference. I think it propelled them like legit into like that victory. So, NFL is a sport in which you feed off the fans heavily, and especially during playoff football time. And I'm not sure about, like, I would have to like check like the capacity in which they are allowing fans to be at that game, but I think it can make a little bit of a difference.
Maybe, but I guess my only other question is Drew Brees. And like I hinted yesterday, before Drew Brees beginning of the year is not the same Drew Brees that we're seeing right now. And I don't know if it's that old age, injury, combination of both, but is Drew Brees going to be able to be counted on to win this game? Because I feel like, I know the Buccaneers defense hasn't been the same since the first half of the year, but if they can make the Saints one-dimensional there, as in stop the run, can you count on Drew Brees to uplift you at this point, this current version of Drew Brees, to beat Tom Brady and the Bucs? That's my biggest question of the day. And Dominique said it comes down to Michael Thomas.
And that's legit. I do think that's legit. If Michael Thomas is playing on another stratosphere like he has been in previous years, like we have still yet to see that. Since he came back from his injury, we still haven't seen that one signature game. Like, okay, this guy is like back, but he's been very, very good in the past couple of games that he has, had full health and was able like to suit up. So Michael Thomas should be a contributing like X factor in that football game.
Definitely. So, man, I'm looking forward to that game. I think that game comes on at 5 5-something Central Time. The first game is like 2-something, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
So definitely looking forward to those.
Definitely some weird times there. Yeah, 2:05 and 5:40. So
They just can be 2:00, 5:30. You know, I guess. Maybe not. No. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't. But so you know, in these matchups here, 3 of the quarterbacks in these matchups over this past weekend is from the 2018 draft class, which was definitely a big headliner at the time. 5 quarterbacks going in the first round.
Yep.
Which features, Baker Mayfield, the first pick. And then the third pick was Sam Darnold. I think Josh Allen went 7th to the Bills. Josh Rosen, I think he went 10th or 12th to the Cardinals. And then you had Lamar Jackson, who went 32nd at the end of the first round to the Baltimore Ravens.
So it seems to be that there is an odd man out there, Jamal.
Oh, man. Yeah. You want to put him on display?
Look, man. Oh, my gosh. Josh Rosen. So even with Sam Darnold and all his woes, I think that he can still be a productive quarterback in the National Football League. Now, granted, he was drafted to one of the worst organizations of this decade let's just go ahead and flat out say it. One of the worst organizations in all sports in this decade, which is the New York Jets. And, I think he has still done okay. I think he can actually become productive if they get some help around him, if he moves to a better destination, whatever that case may be. But Josh Rosen, my goodness. So you and I were talking about it offline. They gave this guy 1 year, bro. They gave him 1 year, and that was it. They didn't even need a full season to know that this guy is not the guy. That's all they gave him, man. So the rest of these guys are, aside from like Donald, solid, very, very productive, and it is rare that you get like all of those guys inside the second round of like the playoffs inside of one draft class. So I thought that was phenomenal, which leads us to us playing GM, Jamar. So question that, I brought up is that if you were playing GM from a quarterback, wide receiver, running back, position, which one of these guys would you draft? And this is coming from 2018's draft on up to current day. So if you were to pick one player to start your franchise with in any given these slots, who would they be and why?
All right, so you want to go, we both do quarterbacks, and then we both do running backs, and we both do wide receivers. You want to go through all 3?
All right, let's go ahead and break out the quarterbacks first.
All right, I'll go first. Since it started in 2018 until present day, my quarterback that I'm selecting is Josh Allen. Now, shout out to Josh Allen. They won yesterday, but each year that he has played, they progressed more and more. Last year they made it to the playoffs when they actually, gave him the keys to the car at that point. And, they almost had a playoff win until Deshaun Watson made Deshaun Watson type plays. And I saw that highlight the other day, and it took me back. I'm like, my gosh, this dude is so good. Come to the Bears. But anyway, Josh Allen had 4,544 yards passing, 37 touchdowns passing, 11 interceptions. He also had 8 touchdowns on the ground. He was a league winner this year in your fantasy football teams. And, going forward, I mean, if this is the first year that he's doing this with the addition of Stephon Diggs, just imagine what they're going to look like going forward for years to come. So Josh Allen is my quarterback there.
Wow. Okay. So my quarterback is, easily, if it would have been that, it would have been Josh Allen with the way that he has been producing. But I got my guy in Kyler Murray, man. He has been fantastic. So this year he threw for about 4,000 yards, like 3,900 to be exact, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. But like let's not discredit the running game. He has been amazing, a shifty guy that you cannot stop. So you have to definitely account for him in both facets of the game. And like the thing about it is when Kyler first came into the league, they took the conservative approach. They're like, okay, let me ease this guy into him, and basically what they're doing now is, like you mentioned, they gave Josh Allen the keys to the car. Cliff Kingsbury unlocked that same, car for Kyler Murray, and we're going to expect great things from this guy. And from a fantasy football perspective, he's going to be, for like the next 5 years, he's going to be one of the top 5 quarterbacks taken off the board, and rightfully so. He can give you points in every facet you need a quarterback to give it to you in. One on the college level, and he's going to be a big time winner in short years to come.
Absolutely, and it's just from the eye test, he reminds me of Michael Vick in so many ways, but basically an accurate Michael Vick, and so that's dangerous. That is very dangerous. So that is a great pick there. Running back, you know what? I'm gonna let you go first on this because I think Reed brought up a name that you might have there.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Reap on that one. So yes, man, Nick Chubb is the guy that I would pick. Look, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Look, we got wore out, but I'm still saying it. Hashtag Steeler Nation, hashtag here we go. And again, the way that we used to run the football, and other than this year, but don't definitely get me started on that, is like a nice running back that likes to, pound up the middle and be able to hit you outside when need be. Nick Chubb is that guy. Like going into like the fourth quarter, he will wear a defense down completely. And I think a lot of that does help whenever you have a Kareem Hunt and a guy who has had his fair share of leading the league in rushing. But Nick Chubb has been phenomenal ever since he came out of Georgia, which honestly, man, like they had a pretty good reputation of grooming these running backs, Jamar. And Nick Chubb is no exception. 1,400 yards in 2019. He had over 1,000 yards. Even that he was put on, injured reserve for a couple of weeks, and he still had 1,000 yards this season. And he's just great. He's going to be one of the guys. If I were playing GM, I want this guy in my lineup.
And it's crazy because last year they, acquired Kareem Hunt, and I know Kareem missed the first 8 games due to suspension, but like Nick Chubb is putting up these numbers, sharing a backfield. They have the most dynamic duo running back tandem in the league. And he's putting up these numbers. It's phenomenal. And then the eye test, like, man, that's a great pick. All right, my pick is Colts rookie Jonathan Taylor. Now, beginning of the season, it's a running back by committee between Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, and Jordan Wilkins. And it was like this for 3/4 of the season. So basically until like week 12 or week 13, it was a running back by committee the whole way. And then all of a sudden, Jonathan Taylor took charge of that backfield. And I want to say he scored 5 touchdowns in the last 4-some games or something like that. Basically, if you had him in your fantasy football playoffs, he basically helped you win a title. He helped me. And this man had 1,169 yards rushing. He averaged 5 yards a carry and 11 touchdowns.
Stud.
1,169 yards and a running back by committee for 3/4 of the season. Let that sink in. So going forward, I'm pretty sure since he took charge, I'm pretty sure he's going to be the guy. If you drafted him as your RB2 and it's to keep the league, congratulations, you got your RB1 for next year. And so that's how we probably going to view him when we start getting to the off season and things change and do our early rankings and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure we got him as a low end RB1 right now. With a lot of upside. So yeah, Jonathan Taylor is my choice, and there's a plethora of running backs we could have chose from. And there's no right or wrong answers, but just for my pick's sake, I'm picking Taylor.
I mean, rightfully so, man. I definitely can't say enough good things about it. We are here in Indiana, and we know that the Colts fans already knew what they had in this guy. So don't let this be a guy that's going to fly over, your radar or under for that matter. Definitely you want to target him. Like you said, Jamar, he literally made his residence in the end zone for the past four weeks. So he has been phenomenal. That's how we want to win fantasy football games. That's how you want to win in reality, get inside the end zone. And this guy has been a shoo-in.
Facts. And so the wide receiver spot, we literally picked a couple of beasts here. Like I don't think they're human. We need to check their birth certificates. I need to check their background. We need to do DNA tests because these two guys here are monsters. You want me to go first? You want to go first?
Go ahead, man. Because of the season that this guy had.
All right, so I picked a guy with basically 0% body fat. The man, the myth, the legend, the DK Metcalf. And it's crazy because in his second year, it's crazy because so many teams passed up on this man in this draft because all they really thought that he can do is a go route. I mean, granted, he can do a go route and he can do it really, really well. But no, he's been much more than that for Russell Wilson in that offense. I mean, he for the longest time he was up there for top receiving yards throughout this year. If you drafted him as a wide receiver too, you definitely got some really good return on investment there. He ended up with a little over 1,300 yards on 83 catches and 10 touchdowns.
My goodness.
I mean, me and you've had discussions in our little sports group chat of him being a top 5 wide receiver today.
Why not? I mean, why not, bro?
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like he's earned it. I mean, I guess the next step here for him is to, work a little bit more on the technical things of his game. Because if he can become matchup proof against guys like Jalen Ramsey, who we have to see twice a year for the next foreseeable future, and then, I mean, hey, and you know what? Our guy Reed put up a valid point that I surely forgot. So yeah, he chased down Buda Baker. He can do a go route. That probably was a highlight of the season, man.
Like it was. So let's just talk about that for a second, Jamar. And I think when he did that, he just earned the respect of just everyone on both sides of that of like the locker room of either team's locker room. Like this guy, dude, he just came out of nowhere. Like I legit sat and watched that game with my son. My mouth was like, I'm like, there's no way that this dude is gonna and he chased him down. Buda Baker had no idea that this guy was coming in like a rocket shot out of a cannon.
It was like it was like watching like one of those TV shows or those movies when the bad guy thinks he's gonna get away, and then all of a sudden he looks like he started squinching his eye, looking in the rearview like, what? He did a double take. Buddha did a double take. He turned around, looked. He's like, wait, is he there? And he turned around. He was closer, and he got him.
So that's easily one of my top 5 plays of this year, and it wasn't even offense or defense. And honestly, I think that they stopped them from scoring up on that very next drive.
They did because they was first and goal, and they went for it on 4th and goal and got shut down. So yeah, that was the highlight of the season for him for sure, and one of the big highlights overall. But who's your monster or beast that you got over there?
Man, the same guy. Now everyone saw the picture that they both took pre-combine. That these two guys were just looking like cut up, like you said, 0% body fat, which I don't believe that's not healthy out there. Okay, you need some type of body fat. But the guy I chose is his Ole Miss running mate, AJ Brown. Look. And here's why. This dude can do it all. He can do it all. He is if you saw this guy standing next to your average day wide receiver, you would see exactly what he will punish you on his way to the end zone. He will run through you. He will jump over you. He is phenomenal. In his what is this his second year? Yeah. So second year, and he had 2,000-yard seasons to start his career. So could he be on that same Mike Evans slide to have 6,000-yard seasons to start? I mean, it could be very well. And he missed, I think, at least 2.5 games for sure, because I drafted him in just about every fantasy football league that I had. And he really paid off during the later parts of the season. I can't say enough good things about this guy. And he's in a running type of offense. So imagine if he was with another team and he can truly be unlocked. This guy is just ridiculous. So my pick, Jamar, would be AJ Brown.
You took the words out of my mouth. It's he's in a run-heavy style offense that's the whole offense is focused around King Henry.
Yep.
So if he putting up 1,000-yard receiving seasons in that type of offense, it's So yeah, let him go to a balanced team or a gunslinging team.
Yep.
Like just for instance, put him on the Detroit Lions
Mm.
with Matthew Stafford, and that team is pass heavy across the board. And Matthew Stafford's a gunslinger. He's a forgotten man because he plays in Detroit. That's just what it is. So put him there and see what happens. Put him in Oakland, see what happens. I mean, not Oakland, Las Vegas. Put him there and see what happens. And put him in. I don't know. Put him in Green Bay. See what happens.
Oh my God, we definitely don't want to think about that one.
Nah. Let me take that back for it comes reality. No, but no, just to prove, just to make a point, an additional point is yours. Like, yeah, he's a monster. I mean, maybe he could be on a 1,000-yard tear like Mike Evans, and Mike Evans doing it in the pass happy offense in his whole career. So.
Yep. I mean, what the heck are they doing at Ole Miss, Jamar? Whatever they're doing, they need to keep it up.
I don't know, man. I feel like they're growing these guys in labs under the school, man. I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff, so I'm just saying, man, like, you never know what's going on. But nevertheless, no, in all honesty, there's no right and wrong answers on what we just went through. But it just, shows you how great that these talents are that's coming into this league in this day and age, and the way the NFL offense is set up. All of them are set up for success across the board.
No, I'm with you. And like you were saying, man, like it's basically sunset on, Tom Brady's, the Drew Breeses, like, guys of that nature. But we got guys coming to this league, Justin Jefferson, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen. Like, look, I mean, the NFL is in great hands. Patrick Mahomes, the face of the NFL. So I know that we got some legends on their way out, but man, we damn sure got some legends on the way in as well.
Facts. And, we didn't even mention the likes of like a Saquon Barkley or Miles Sanders or Terry McLaurin or Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, just we are in great hands. It's just, it's bittersweet watching the players that me and you saw growing up, on their way out the door. So it's like handing the torch here. It's bittersweet, but the league, it feels like they're in good hands going forward.
Facts, bro.
And so yeah, 2 more games today. Two finished up yesterday. I guess any final thoughts here?
Yeah, man. I want to know. Like, I'm about to put you on the spot, bro. I want to know your Super Bowl picks. I want to know your AFC and your NFC winner, and I want to know your Super Bowl pick.
Ooh.
Yep. Right now, we might as well while there's still teams to choose from, bro.
Yeah, you don't want to get it too. It's like just 2 teams left.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are having a little Super Bowl special, by the way. Just throwing that out there. All right, since you're gonna put me on the spot, it's cool. I see how you do. All right, now, so golden rule. I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes, so I got Kansas City in the Super Bowl.
Smart man.
Even though the Bills, they definitely gonna give them a run for their money. They definitely are. Okay, on the flip side, so I guess matter of fact, let me just back up. So remember how we got the Progressive versus State Farm game going on here?
Yeah.
So I'm having the State Farm versus State Farm Super Bowl.
Wow. Okay. You know what? You know what, Jamar? I'm taking exactly the same. So we got the new Batman and we got the old Batman and the Super Bowl. And look, rightfully so. Both of those offenses are clicking on all cylinders right now. Look, it's if that does happen, I think this is one of the greatest Super Bowls that we should be able to witness to see. It's a lot of star power up on both sides of both of these teams, man, and it'll be a great thing to see. Now, granted, like you said, the Bills are definitely standing in their way. The Saints, the Bucks, all can make a run at that title as well. But as we sit today, that'll be my Super Bowl pick, man. Oh wow, State Farm versus State Farm. I like that.
All right, so I guess there's one last question left. Who's the winner, right?
Oh yeah, man. And so we've been carrying this same this same philosophy throughout the remainder of like this season, and we carried it on from like last year. You cannot bet against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. But I'm gonna say this: the Packers will win the Super Bowl in this year. The Packers will win the Super Bowl this year.
If we wasn't as cool as we was, I would tell you log out right now. I would tell you I'm playing.
Look, man, I'm doing this from definitely a football fan's perspective. Is if that were to happen, it'll be a great game, and in my opinion, they're the only team in the NFC that could actually match up with. Well, I'll give it to the Bucs as well, but they're like the only team that can match up with Patrick Mahomes and them. But repeating a Super Bowl, man, that's really, really tough. Like, that's extremely tough. And again, you don't bet against this guy, but why not? It takes a bad man to beat a bad man, right?
Yeah. Look,
Okay.
at least this guy is on my side on this one here. So he's saying Pack versus Kansas City, and Patrick gets number 2. You know, like you said, it takes a bad man to beat a bad man. But the bad guy I'm picking here, a bad man I'm picking, his team is superior right now. And it's right, and you're right, it's hard to repeat as Super Bowl champion in the NFL, the last team to do so. Was the New England Patriots in 03 and 04. They got it done. I mean, but the Kansas City Chiefs team is kind of similar as in their dominance here. I'm over here Googling right now to see what Patrick Mahomes' record is as a starter, and I don't think he's lost more than 5 games in his career as a starter. I could be wrong, but I know it's up there. So I mean, I know if anything, the Packers will make that game interesting for sure. They will, because Aaron Rodgers is just that guy. But I'm taking Kansas City to get it done. It's just
he said he's never going with AA Ron. Look, and like I say this to say this. Look, I know where Jamar was going with his with his Super Bowl like picks here. So I just kind of wanted to be up on opposite sides of like the spectrum and make it a little bit interesting. Like, look, we all know what Kansas City can do. We all know what their makeup is, and it makes for all of a superior team, especially up on like the offense. Defense is unsung. Like, they have been legit contenders on the defensive side of the football. But at the same time, let's not sit here and make it like that there's like that the Green Bay Packers don't have any shot at beating this team because they do. Like, they have like been like beating up on teams this year and look good while doing it. So look, if the Kansas City Chiefs win this football game, look, who would be surprised? Who would be surprised if they were to go and win another Super Bowl? Like, who wouldn't, with the roster that they have, with the great coaching and like the great players that they have on both sides of the football? I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
No, and rightfully so, because I'm not, like I said, I can't rule out the Packers. I mean, like I said, if anything, they'll make that game interesting because Aaron Rodgers is just that good. He's that good. And so yeah, I mean, I expect both of them to be in the Super Bowl. I expect it to be a phenomenal Super Bowl. But I guess like Herm Edwards says, we play to win the game, so they gotta go out there and get it done for us to see this matchup. So
if there is a State Farm Super Bowl, should we buy into State Farm stock? Will their stock rise? I'm not a big stock guy. I definitely want to get into that, but
well, I mean, it's a great possibility, that it will rise. We need to see what their price is right now, but yeah, I would expect a lot of people to probably buy more State Farm at that point. Got a question here in a sense from him after their first meeting. How confident are you that the Packers can beat the Bucs, though?
I'm not. And like you mentioned, like I mentioned that like earlier that the Bucks do match up well, even with the Kansas City, and it's a possibility that the Bucks will beat the Packers. But I'm just not betting on it. Not in Lambeau. Like the road to the Super Bowl goes through Lambeau, so like it's gonna be tough to win football games there. It's gonna be very tough to win. It's the frozen tundra, man. Like, come on. So like those guys are playing in Tampa Bay where it's freaking sunny, which is where the Super Bowl is. Matter of fact, like that would be dope if they could make it. But nah, I really don't see that happening. Could it be a possibility? Strong one, very, very strong one. Two great football teams, but I'm definitely gonna go with the bad man on this one.
I give it a 50-50 chance on that one. And that's just because Tom Brady is the one that's used to the cold weather. So he can play in the elements. I know normally, historically, Buccaneers, Southerns, weather, good teams don't fare well in cold conditions in the playoffs. But Tom Brady brings that element. He kind of like, negates that a little bit. So I give it a 50-50 chance, but I'm sure the Packers will definitely rebound on that first game there if they was to play and make adjustments.
Right. But for that one, is still the Bucks need to worry about what's in front of them instead of what's in like the future. They still got to get past New Orleans first. So
either way, whoever they play in the NFC Championship game, their defense is going to be stellar. So
absolutely,
you're gonna see a dogfight for sure. But yeah, man. I think that's about wraps it up here. Just once again, just want to make sure we got the right times. You said 2:05.
2:05.
That ugly time. Yep, 2:05 Central Time, and then 5:40 Central Time. 2:05 for the Kansas City Browns game, and then the Bucks and Saints is 5:40 Central. So, all right. So, hey, if you didn't know, because we're live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, which is on Twitter. All three of those you can, follow, subscribe, and hit the notification bell when we go live so you don't miss us when we come on. If you want to listen to us, if you can't, watch us, you want to listen to us, we are, let's see, it says Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, and other platforms. We're on a lot of platforms here. So yeah, and this episode will actually be available here pretty soon as we're done. So yeah, I guess for my brother Deshaun, I'm Jamar. Enjoy your football. But yeah, we'll be back with you all next week with more stuff. And remember, we'll be here for the Super Bowl. We have some treats for you, even our first couple special guest appearances on this podcast. So we'll see. So stay tuned. So until then, peace out.
Peace.